Hey friends, this is Tatiana, and today let's talk about haptics, which is something I have never talked about on my channel.
Haptics allows you to feel physical feedback on your body by an external device like vest, belt, even gloves sent to you from a computer app. In 3D games and in VR especially, haptics offers you an extra dimension in those environments because you literally get to feel the world around you by sensing vibrations of different strengths based on your interactions with the virtual world. But not all haptics work the same way. Some haptic devices are designed to convert audio into feedback, which makes them universal for any game experience that has audio, but particularly for music-based games, Beat Saber, Synth Riders, Pistol Whip, even Tetris Effect.
And those are exactly the types of devices that I will be reviewing today.
First one is Feelbelt, a haptic belt developed by a German company in 2021, and Woojer Vest Edge, a haptic vest released in 2020. Unlike haptic devices that require direct game integration such as haptic suits, music-based haptics work with literally all games, and not just VR, but flat-screen games, music, and even watching movies.
But the limitation is that this feedback will not be directional, meaning that if you get shot or if you shoot in the first-person shooter, you will still feel the general vibration and the feedback, but it will not be specific to the part of the body where you got shot. It's still cool to get the type of feedback, it's better than nothing, but just don't expect it to be spatially precise when you're gaming. But this also means that these audio-based haptic devices come cheaper than the haptics with game integration, like haptics.
Feelbelt currently retails at $285 on their website. Woojer Vest Edge, which is currently on sale, goes for $250. To compare, a haptic Stacked Suits X40 full-body haptic suit is sold for $500, so pretty much double of what you would pay for a music-based haptic device.
So say you take this budget-friendly haptics path. What will you get when you go for the Feelbelt haptic belt, and what can you expect from Woojer Vest Edge? Let's find out.
Let's start with physical characteristics and specs of both, starting with Feelbelt. It's a rather small belt-looking device that comes in two different sizes, a small one and a large one. The one I have is a small one, and it weighs only about a pound. The front panel has only one button that's basically a 5-wedge joystick with the LED light indicator. You can press it or push it right, left, forward, and back to control the device, adjust the volume and the haptic intensity. On top of the panel, there's a 3.5mm audio input. This is what you use to connect your device to the haptic belt, and audio output for your headphones. You cannot use Feelbelt without headphones or speakers. Below you'll find a USB-C port for charging. This belt has a battery capacity of 2400 milliamps that will last you for up to 6 hours, and it charges fully in just 90 minutes. Additionally, Feelbelt is equipped with Bluetooth 5.0, which allows you to wirelessly connect your device, but Bluetooth connection is not available for Quest 2. As for the actual haptics, Feelbelt has 10 impulse generators that can transmit the feedback to your body synchronously and in stereo. The impulse generators have this moving rubbery surface with a bulge in the middle, and supposedly they can distinguish directions as well as highs and lows in individual tones. They market this as the first ever product that can make physically perceptible the entire frequency spectrum of human hearing, which is from 10 to 20,000 Hz, and it's incredibly high. You put it on by snapping this magnetic clasp and fastening the belt until it's sitting securely but comfortably on your lower abdomen. Now let's look at Woojer Vest Edge. This haptic vest is much bigger and heavier than the belt. Woojer weighs almost 4.5 pounds with a rather bulky looking back. It has the control panel on the left strap that, similarly to Feelbelt, allows you to adjust the volume and the feedback intensity. It also has 3.5mm ports for audio input and output, and a USB-C audio port, a charging port, and an LED light indicator. Even though this vest is rather large, it has only 6 haptic motors, 2 on the back, 2 on the front, and 2 on the sides. They can reproduce and play frequencies up to 200 Hz. To compare the specs of both products, 200 Hz is a lot lower than 20,000 Hz in Feelbelt, but at the same time, Woojer goes as low as detecting 1 Hz, so it can detect and create physical feedback in response to those low basses that are not even detected detectable by human ear. But still, such a dramatic difference means that Woojer will detect those really bassy tunes, while Feelbelt will be able to create feedback even for really high tones, and that means a lot more variety in senses.
Before even trying these devices, I already can see how different the experiences are going to be. So what can you expect from these products?
Connect your device with the Quest using an audio jack, and then connect your device to the headphones for audio input. So it's a pretty wiry solution, but still you're mobile. With Woojer, I could feel vibrations on my whole body when playing different songs, but the feedback was not nearly as strong as it was when I was playing some music on my phone or on my computer, especially the ones with really strong bass or drums. Beat Saber is a music-based game, but not all songs are that bassy. Many have quite high frequencies, and most of the time I could feel some faint rumbling, but not much variation in those vibrations. I had a very similar experience with synth writers. The music I enjoy playing most are dynamic and polyphonic, like Muse for example, but I didn't really feel like the Vest managed to provide enough dimension to those light and high-pitched songs to justify, well, the weight that I have to carry around while playing those games. It's really bulky, and if you're playing rhythm-based games, you get hot fast. It would be very hard for me to play more than 3 songs at a time without breaking a sweat. So I must say, I was kind of disappointed by the sound experience of most of my favorite songs in VR with Woojer Vest. So next I decided to test its quality with a left and right stereo sound test, and I could definitely confirm that both left and right channels are working flawlessly. I could sense the vibrations to my right front, back and side, and to my left front, back and side. They were at different intensities throughout the test. This made me believe that the audio quality of the tracks that play in those VR games play a crucial role in the way that these songs are perceived in Woojer. I couldn't find any that would take full advantage of both channels, but I really enjoyed listening to those drum beats on my PC. When I played some drum solos, that felt like being at the concert and feeling the sound waves go through you. That was so amazing.
So I quite enjoy listening to these deep basses on my computer, perhaps even more than actually playing games with it.
As for Feelbelt, the quality, wow, that was the next level. I could feel every single note of each song that I was playing, both highs and lows, alternating around my waist, really complementing the gaming experience. All my favorite songs, and especially in the Lady Gaga pack in Beat Saber and the Muse songs on Synth Riders, both of which feature high frequencies of sound, felt absolutely incredible and sent goosebumps down my spine. And I only wish that there was more than just one belt. Having the whole vest filled with the same impulse generators would have been the best way to experience any music. So while Woojer did cover more area with vibrations, I found them to be too rumbly and weak, since it would only detect low and low-mid frequencies, which are not the types of songs I generally play in VR. I personally would prefer less surface covered, but with way more elaborate and detailed feedback, which is what Feelbelt offers. The experience was slightly different with non-rhythm based games. First-person shooters, for example, make a lot more sense with Woojer, because you receive the feedback to your whole body every time you shoot a gun or get shot. It doesn't really have the means to understand which shoulder you were hit in, but still, more surface means more haptic feedback, and even though Feelbelt could send me the feedback about everything that was happening around me, it was only limited to my waist. In addition, I also tested both devices on PlayStation 5 and on flat-screen PC games. Mr. Disco and I tried Mortal Kombat 11, Formula 1 and Counter-Strike, and to my surprise, the feedback on both Woojer Vest and Feelbelt was stronger when playing on flat screen than when playing in VR. Woojer was giving me very strong feedback to all 3 games we tested, but then again, I didn't notice any significant use of right and left channels in the game to sense the differences in vibration positions. I would get feedback when I hit or shoot kind of all over the body. It does add more dimension to gaming, but it's all very much sound-based, so whether you shoot or get shot, the feeling you get from the vest is about the same. Feelbelt has more variation to the sensation it sends to you, which is not necessarily an advantage, because in those games, impact feedback is the only thing that matters. Being limited only to the sensation around your waist may not be exactly the best for this type of games. I did enjoy playing the racing game with it though. While with Woojer it was pretty much constant vibration the whole race, Feelbelt sent me different types of vibrations depending on me gaining or losing the speed, which I thought was really cool.
So what's the verdict on these 2 haptic devices? First, I asked Mr. Disco to see which one he preferred, and he said that he would choose a Woojer Vest Edge.
For him, more feedback in games games like Mortal Kombat and Counter-Strike was more important than precise feedback if it means that it will be limited to your waist. The feedback on Woojer Vest is not intelligent, it's quite simple, but it's strong and it covers your whole body, which is definitely an advantage for certain games.
As for me, I would go with Feelbelt, and here's why.
Because we know that both of these haptic devices are designed to convert audio into feedback, it makes sense to buy it for that purpose. If you buy it to play music games like Beat Saber, Synth Riders, Pistol Whip, Supernatural, or any other rhythm game,
I absolutely see no reason why you would go with Woojer.
It's big and heavy, it will make you sweat much faster, which is already a problem for VR gaming, and it is limited to only low-frequency sounds, which means it probably won't perform very well with most of the songs that you'll be playing. Feelbelt is lightweight and it unlocks completely new levels of feeling the music when you're playing any rhythm game, which I personally think is incredible. True that it can't provide you the same whole-body experience when playing first-person shooters, but it's not really supposed to do that.
And then, what's the point of going for an audio-based haptic device if you're not going to play music games with it? Woojer Vest Edge is definitely a better choice for first-person shooters, and not just that, but also mostly for flat-screen games, and not for VR. Because I really don't know how you'll be playing those active shooters while running around wearing a 4-pound vest on you.
But if you're really that much into shooters and you want to enhance your VR experience with realistic feedback, then why buy an audio-based device? After all, by spending a little more, you can get a haptic suit with 16 or even 40 motors that are adjusted specifically to the game you're playing.
So Woojer is somewhat of a budget haptic option if you want to add some depth to your gaming, but I don't think it's the perfect choice for VR gaming. Feelbelt, on the other hand, is an amazing and great for anyone who is going to play rhythm-based games with it, or any games that incorporate music. As long as you don't mind that the haptic is limited to your belt, it works well with all VR games, but music games is where this product really shines. Let me know what you think about these haptic products and what other haptic devices would you like me to review next. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and see you next time!